And we're back. Look, Chesco. Ooh.
I got two right here.
Yeah, but look at this one.
I know. I literally had two and I traded it. Traded
Yes,
both.
me. Thank you. Ooh.
I traded both to you.
Just one to me. I don't know where the other one
That's
is.
really fun. Somewhere locals.
I got a sealed one.
You'll get 6.
That card's amazing.
Not expensive, so like.
Yeah. I don't know. I only played like I think 5 games today, and every single game I absolutely would tap out on turn 3 for this card. It's fine. Absolutely fine. Because then you just untap 2 with Bojack, and you're like, oh, fuck, Mecha's the best deck. It's ridiculous.
It's better with Zamasu.
I did not play Zamasu in a single game, but I would still mainboard it, right? Because it's for like baby, you know what I mean? Like it's for the slow matchups, and I literally only played like random people on untap. It was super whatever. Like one of the decks was AOD or some shit. Like it was whatever. But deck was certainly just felt good, man. Yeah, the Bojack version is definitely better than the mono yellow version.
Alright, let's get into it. I think we're good to go. Let me see. Alright, that's up. Volume is up, I believe. Make sure on everyone. Yes, everything seems to be good. I guess let me open up the pop-up chat. Where's it at? Pop-up chat, pop-up chat. I guess we got Apex X in the back. Boom. All right. Yeah, we got comments. So yeah, we're live. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. This is Teen Talk session, last day of the month, 4th of May. Happy Memorial Day for all you veterans and your veteran families. Besides that, we'll start with introductions. It's your boy Eddie saying Hilaire. Pass it off. We'll go to Giancarlo, Sublett, and then I'm guessing it's Trey. Yeah, Trey.
What's up, everybody? Happy Memorial Day. Hope everyone had a good day off from work. My bad. Go ahead, Sublett.
Hello, everyone.
My boy, Mr. Trey.
Memorial Day?
Yeah, Trey? We lose you?
Says he's muted.
Nah, is he? He shouldn't be muted.
The little microphone in the corner with the line through it.
Yeah.
Nah, he should be muted. He should be up. Yeah, he's at 100%.
No, he muted himself. Well,
He muted himself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because like on mine, put his volume all the way up and everything. It just sounds like he's lagging from over there.
Yeah. I think he's just lagging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like super lagging. B. I ain't gonna lie, Trey. I heard and then it just like. Okay, so while we're getting that fixed, I want to give a huge shout out to our boys, Giancarlo, Sublett, and Legends for doing their thing this weekend. They absolutely came out there and did their thing in Top Cut. I bubbled. I'm sad because I was on a 6-in-a-row streak, topping every event from last year, and I got 9th. So my streak ended this past weekend with our Broly. Really, really sad. But yeah, Pac-Man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. After this weekend, I probably am gonna put negates in because the one game I did lose, I got hit with another mirror, dude. Bro, he dropped the mirror. He said,
Bro,
he
no
looked at me in my
bullshit.
face. He said, don't play Power Burst, dude. I was tapped out. He's like, I know you don't play Power Burst. I'm like, I know, I don't either. Oh, man. So, yeah, I'm probably going to have to play Power Burst now. It's
Bro,
getting annoying.
I was standing behind Eddie, and I was trying so hard not to laugh because Eddie had like 5 cards in hand, and dude summons Mira, and I just shook my head, bro. I was just like, Power Burst is pretty good, dog.
Nah, just for the fact that people know I don't run like those extra cards. I was running the Kais, but like people know I hate like the extra card negates. I run Kais for the 5K combos. But I think I'm gonna have to go back to Power Burst because people are onto my trick where, hey, if you drop Mira and he's tapped out, it's usually King. But yeah, 100%, I'm probably gonna put Power Burst somewhere between my main board and sideboard, man, because that was really annoying.
I feel you. Kai, I will say though, no, Kai absolutely is a really good negate in Dark Broly. Power Burst is basically a 6-drop, but Kai is pretty good.
Yeah.
This Kai. We're talking about this Kai because there are a lot of Kais.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
This is
that is the Kai we're talking about.
Time Labyrinth Unleashed, the new negate Kai.
Yeah, that Kai is super busted, guys. I was playing against what's his face, Becky Rivera, and it's absolutely slaughtered him because he summoned an 8-drop out, and I just negated and took both my Broly's back because it went back to my warp. So I'm the owner of the card. So at the end of his turn, it came back to my side, and he was tapped out, and he got savage after that round. So
whoa, what?
The Kai.
That's how it works?
Yes, it is how it works. That's why I told you Dark Broly's busted. Like, dude, I have no outs to Dark Broly. You can bait someone out. I literally negated it. It goes to my warp because they're my cards. And then at the end of his turn, they came back and play on my field, dude. I was like, yeah, you're dead. I clapped the dog shit. I can't curse. I beat the living Dragon Ball out of his life. Let me put it like that. Yeah, go ahead and read that Kai negate. Go ahead and read it. It returns to the owners. To the owner's battle area with the skills negated.
Yo, Mecha Burst sucks. Oh my god. Yo, Mecha Burst. Horrible deck,
Judge,
man.
I'm like, go ahead. I'll wait for you to call JP, broski.
Oh my god.
Busted. Like, that's why I told you guys.
I did not.
I had the spice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There's no real. I'm going to tell you guys all this spice. I'm not going to reveal my deck list because my deck list is busted. Like I said, I messed up. The one game I lost was to the mirror match because once again, it's no lie. If you're playing the mirror match, but I'm going to change it now because now I'm going to put negates in because I'm tired of everyone knowing I'm not playing negates. If you play the mirror match, you're usually going to get it because you're playing Heartfelt Plea and mirror. It's like, bro, I learned my lesson. I'm just going to play negates in. So that's the one match I lost, and I tied to King Piccolo. King Piccolo, I savaged him game 1 because I just savaged him. Game 2, it was going to be like a tie, and I tried to go for a game, and he outcomboed it by 5, so he won, and it was an instant tie. But what I do is, like I told you guys, you improvise, adapt, and overcome. There's another card, which is really good. People think it's just for hand control, and it's not just for hand control. It's a Deborah. He used Tofu against me. I dropped those Deborahs like it was hot. I was just drawing cards like it was crazy, boys. Like, man, it was something else. Like, anything like that says discard a card, it's not just hand destruction at the Deborah. So like I said, I'm not going to really get into my deck profile because I understand what I have to do. I just have to literally take the Kais out and just put hardcore negates so people could just say, okay, he actually plays negates now and respect it. But yeah, real quick, what's up, Pac-Man, the Ghost Killer? What's up? I want to say your name is Juan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Pac-Man says Eddie got hit with that mirror champa. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I did, bro. Like, it was bad, bro. I was traumatized from that. As soon as he hit that on me, I'm like, bro, I'm never coming to another event with Dark Broly with no negates again. Like that. That was wild. Giancarlo talked with OG Broly. Yeah, Giancarlo killed it with OG Broly, man. Sublett, how did the pan work out? All right, I'll stop right there and let you answer. How did that pan work out for you?
So I go into a little bit more of a discussion about the pan, why I used it, why I used the numbers that I did, and how it worked in the deck profile that'll be up soon. But a short, abridged version is if you don't play against a deck where it's good, it's really, really bad. And so moving forward in best of 3, it will live in a side deck. In best of 1, I've got a best of 1 regional this Saturday. I'm probably going to be too lazy to change anything. So I'm just going to use the same 52 and it'll work.
Makes sense. I believe in you.
Pac-Man. Why do you like it, Pac-Man? I shouted you out several times.
Yeah.
This card is I believe this card moving forward Clash of the Masked Warriors is actually something that everybody should be side decking.
Yeah,
I ain't
every
fun,
color.
dog. I got mine right here, dog. I got
Every
pulled mine
color
out too, bro.
as big
And
facts.
the reason for this is, and I said it in the commentary that Chesko and I were doing, and I said it in the deck profile too, is that a lot of decks now have unisons that they're using to win the game. Like King Cold has that King Vegeta that comes at you. So the King Vegeta has this obnoxious activate battle, which gives it triple strike and makes it just gigantic. Like gives it plus 15, plus 20 generally. And they'll back that up with the Majin Buu counter. So you can negate any leader attack, but you can't negate any non-leader attack because that's what it can counter on. And so they attack with the unison. You try to negate, they laugh at you and play counter. Instead of cooler, now it's a double strike, 40k giant monster. And then they just dunk everything into the masked, the King Vegeta. I think it's like what? A masked King Vegeta or something?
Yep.
It's the unison.
Yeah,
It's
the unison, yeah.
It's like a King Vegeta something.
Yeah. So you let them do that, and then you activate this card that Pac-Man brought up in one of these team talks recently, a week ago, I think, or so. And this gives your opponent the option of removing a counter from the card or not taking strike damage. It's a triple strike, so if you don't take strike damage, you take no damage. If they remove a marker, it loses everything that it gained. So it loses the plus 15, plus 20k, and it loses the triple strike. So they either do one of the 3 damage they just dunked their hand into, or none of the 3 damage they just dunked their hand into. We saw Jiren just destroying face in that King Vegeta deck by Duval. And a lot of times he was going in with Jiren and dunking his hand on the double strike. We can fix that. And so it has some fringe use against Bagex and everything. Not a main deck card, definitely a side deck card going forward. Yeah.
Yep, cool. Big facts. Pac-Man said I got to work, but time and a half. Cool. Coop said I heard. Damn, everyone must have heard about that mirror, bro. They must have heard my screams, bro. That was neg. But let's take about a couple of Kais out. That's the thing. I gotta take the Kais out. I probably have them in the sideboard for the Mecha Cabrera match because, like I said, I do get my Dark Broly's back at the end of the turn. So I had to put Power Burst in because that was neg. When he swung with that, and I looked at my hand like that was just neg. Damn, everyone's just commenting on how I'm gonna play Negates now. Yeah, I am gonna play Negates now, guys. May not be, maybe just one though. Core regional on Saturday. I'm a student of the game. Pac-Man's been killing with the nuts recently. Yeah. Pac-Man's been he's been watching these talks for a while, man. He's been bringing us some pretty good points, which is a huge shout out to you, bro. So I caught up on all.
Yeah, Pac-Man's super active in the Hermit Style Discord as well, so we interact with him a lot. Pac-Man's a super cool guy. I just admit I'm wrong. I told him last week or 2 weeks ago, I was like, nah, that card sucked. Nah, I was wrong. That card's really good, so pretty cool.
For sure, Pac-Man. Every time that we've talked about that card, we've shouted you out because we're wrong, you were right.
Yeah.
I'm done saying it. That was it. I'm done. I said it, and now I'm done saying it. Now it's my tech. Whatever.
Call it the Pac-Man.
So the last one. Yeah, I mean that was the biggest thing with it. It's the fact that I guess I did those deck profiles and I kept saying I'm not going to play Negates going forward. So that was a huge disadvantage because they knew that going into the event.
I think.
Oh man, this is too funny.
That guy, because I was standing right behind you when that happened. Yeah. I think he mirrors no matter what. There, you were at 1 life with 4 cards in hand. That's an easy mirror. Like you were at 1 life, so you couldn't have even power burst if you had power burst, you couldn't use it anyway. So that's just an easy.
Yeah, I went to 1 life because I didn't have it. I don't play Negates like that.
That's what I'm saying. You don't play Negates, so he swung. He swung with Dark Broly. Yeah,
I'm like, I just have to take it because literally the next one coming up is a wrap. But all right, so that's the last comment for that. So tonight, I guess you guys want to talk about what tier list he said it was. So what is this list?
No, we'll do. We're gonna do that Wednesday, and we're gonna have Cam on the show, and he's gonna come and give us some opinions and all that good stuff.
Okay.
I think that we should actually discuss the event that just happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say talk about the event, and then talk about the event on the several events that are happening this weekend, and obviously the ones we just went to this past weekend.
All right, yeah, makes sense.
Why don't we frame this? Let's each frame this. Say what deck you were the most surprised by. What deck did exactly what you thought it would do? Your impressions of the meta moving forward, and base all of this in the frame of like your own experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So like, for example, you could say, I found that X deck was much better than I thought it was, because when I played against that deck in round, it was very difficult. Or I thought that X deck was trash, and it was, because when I played against it, I played the Kai negate, and I got my cards back. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy was pissed, dude. He thought I was cheating. That's hilarious. But yeah, yeah. So who wants to start us off? You want to go to the top to like left to right again, or?
Yeah, whatever. I can start. I played OG Broly. My deck list was horrible. So, okay, like that's the funny thing, right? A few weeks ago when Coombs was on, he was like, he said something, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna play test Broly. I'm just gonna go to the event and play. And I can't do that again. Like my list was just so bad. And then I should. It's probably like 5, 6, maybe even 8 cards off of what it actually should be. So I need to actually like play test next time I go to an event. But the deck was cool, man. I only won because the deck is actually broken. It just, you have to get like a good matchup. Like there were like 3 or 4 Dark Broly's in the room, and I just dodged all of them. Had I played any of them, it's like pretty much just an auto loss immediately. But like I got a Launch and a King Cold, which are relatively good matchups. I lost on stream round 1 to Cell Zeno, which is also a bad deck. I'm not like saying that guy was bad. He was a really cool dude. He played the matchup perfectly. Like he knew exactly what he was supposed to do. His like deck is just kind of like oddly designed to beat mine, so like it didn't go well at all. And
Side deck especially was oddly designed to
yeah, he sat in like 5 or 6 cards, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Like game 3, he had turns 1, 2, and 3. He had a Frieza counterplay for my Paragus. So if he had missed one of those Friezas, I actually think I would have just won game 3. But literally turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, he had a charismatic villain like the first 3 turns in a row. Granted, I had 3 Paragus as well, so I mean, it is what it is. Round 2, I played AOD. It was just some kid, like that was a freebie. That's usually what happens when you lose the first round, is you get a couple freebie rounds. And I played Launch. And that's just kind of easy. Like, it was red-green Launch. The deck doesn't really do anything to Broly because my deck's too defensive. Then I played... what round? That's round 3. Round 4, I played King Cold. Game 1, I didn't draw a field spell for, like, 6 turns. And I just, like... I think I, like, scooped with 6 life. Like, I was tired of playing that game out. And that's what I said, too. I said, Green Broly, you're going to lose minimum, like, 2 games a day, because your deck just craps out on you. So, like, against Cell Zeno, I lost because 1 game my deck crapped out. I lost King Cold. I lost game 1. I literally just didn't draw a field spell till turn 6. So my deck literally does nothing. And then I took games 2 and 3. They were all super close. Kind of just came down to the last few cards. And in hand destruction, like, it's good when the game comes down to the last few cards, because mine I'll discard cards. So, like, I can play Rosie. If I have 1 Rosie in hand, that's a really good card to be the last card in hand. So... It just came down to that. Top 8 against Duval. He was playing King Vegeta. I just watched that. Eddie uploaded that to the YouTube channel, and I played so freaking bad. I don't know what happened. Like, I think game 1 was over. Like turn 2, I cleared his field spell with my leader, and like game 1 was so easy. I think I got too complacent. So I think game 2, I didn't make like huge misplays. I just like didn't play very optimally. And then game 3, I made a huge misplay that lost me the game. Was I tapped 5 for my secret rare. I'm playing Big Monkey. He like negs it down to 25 through like various King Vegeta shenanigans. And I swing into his leader, and he just neg 3s his Jiren to kill it. So what I should have done was, because it's a dual attack, I swing into Jiren, Jiren loses 3 counters, then I swing into leader and I just combo my whole hand and win. So like that again, I don't read cards, right? So like I didn't read Jiren. I didn't know like I used to play Jiren in Yamcha, which is so funny. I knew what it did, I just forgot it did that. So like again, I just screwed up. So whatever, man. I got top 8 with Broly. It was pretty cool. It's a deck. I'm gonna put it away for a while, which sucks because like now that I actually have a good build for it, I'd like to enter another event with it, but I'm just gonna put it away for a while because I want to play Vegex and Mecha Frieza. So it's a good event. I wish I had played better. Sublett would have scooped me in top 4, so I could have been on finals. So I could have won and then Mecha Frieza. Yeah, you would have scooped me in top 4, dog. You know, bro. Yes, you would have. You already know. Because then Green Broly wins the event. That's sick. So then I would have got Mecha Frieza, which is a relatively good matchup. Could have won the whole thing, man. I should have played better.
You would have wished I would have scooped to you with my side deck meant for you.
You would have, dog. Anyway, a lot of decks are worse than I thought they were, which is funny. I actually think Mecha Burr is just kind of bad now. I played against it the night before, and the guy who made top 8, I was watching him play because I was curious about the deck. And the deck actually just seems really bad. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't seem good at all. I think it will bully the ever-loving hell out of any deck worse than it. So, like, any tier 2 to tier 3 deck is going to get bullied super hard by Mecha. But then every other deck is just going to beat it because it's better. And maybe I just need to spend more time with it. I actually don't believe in that deck anymore. That's it, really. Everything else, I'm not surprised. Like, Mecha Frieza... top 4 was like King Vegeta, Mecha Frieza, Invoker, and King Piccolo. Those are literally all decks that we know are good. And then top 8 was like another King Piccolo, 2 Rogue decks, and a second something or other.
Invoker.
A second Invoker, yeah. So Legend. So like top 8 outside of OG Broly, like top 8 was pretty expected. Top 4 was exactly what you would expect. Finals was like 2 tier 1 decks. Like it was a cool event. Like the small sample size kind of made it like easier to pay attention to all the games going around in the room because like I was like watching certain people play and you're like, oh, okay, here's a baby deck and then like here's the 3 Dark Broly decks. Like it was a cool event. It was cool.
Okay. I played Invoker. That's a shocker to everybody watching, I know. I ended up getting top 4 in the event. I lost the 3rd round to Mecha Frieza, and I lost top 4 to Duval, King Vegeta. So, in the very first round, I played against Rios using King Cold. I've got to say, that deck is better than I gave it credit for. Granted, every time I've said it was trash, I also have followed it up with I haven't read a single card in it. I did not change, mind you, going into that matchup. I had to read most of his cards or just not pay attention to them, honestly. So that deck is a lot better than I gave it credit for. I'm actually rather impressed by how well the deck could do what it wanted to do. So that would be the one I'm the most impressed by. In the second round, I played against a Blue Gohan. It went a little slow because game 1, I had to read all of his cards. I had to read to him all of my cards. It took a little bit. Game 2 got really complicated because he had both of his negates. I couldn't victory strike, and I had to defend really early aggression using most of my other win conditions. So it was hard to piece together a way to actually win the game, and I couldn't. And then game 3 took 6 minutes because we had like 6 minutes left, so we had to play really fast. And Invoker, turn 5, pew 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 pew. Round 3, I lost to Mecha Frieza. Game 1, worst hand I've ever had with the deck, and I still almost got. If I had gotten to 5 energy, it was over. But he played through a topo, which ended up winning him the game. If he had stopped through the topo, it would have been that. And then game 2, 2 of my 3/6 drops were the last 2 life, and that third one, he wasn't playing ball. Neither was Victory Strike. The game was also a little awful because the only spell I saw the entire time was Cat Blow. I actually had to take a 10k attack. That's an awful time. Yeah, it's an awful time. Yeah, and then round 4, I went against the Cell Surge deck that Chesko played against. I won game 1 with Victory Strike because that's what happens. And then because Chesko is in the event, I cited a bunch of hand destruction to hate. And so
for no reason, OG Broly literally has 0 chance ever against Invoker, sideboard or not. And then he sideboards a bunch of hand destruction cards just to piss me off. Just because.
Yeah. They ended up coming in handy in that matchup, I guess. So, yeah. He ended up in game 2, he made me discard a Dabura. I got a lot of cards. He ended up attacking twice into... I leader effect took a Rosie. Crown of Retribution took a second Rosie. And then on his next turn, he attacked into 2 Sleepy Boys and scooped. Because I had 13 cards in hand. It was just... He didn't...
You can't hand control Invoker. You can't do it. No. It's impossible.
And that was the end because Legends ended up losing to King Piccolo, and there were 3 undefeateds. He was the pair down. But ended on 4 rounds instead of 5. And then we look at the results, and I'm in 4th place, and Legends is in 5th place. So that means a good old-fashioned Invoker mirror.
That shit hurt my soul.
It hurt everyone's soul. So just to put it in perspective to you, we got 2 games done, and it took 86 of the 90 minutes to do that.
Yep.
I won both games. I ended up in game 2 winning by playing, I think, all 3 6-drops. So a Crown got condemned, a 6-drop got condemned, and I played another one with a Rival Seeker, Awakened with another one with a Rival Seeker. Ended up doing the full 8 damage. And I could only do that because I had 14 energy. 14. I could have Beerus Hakai'd him. Now you might think, wow, that game went to turn 14. No, children. No. We skipped charge at least 8 times each.
Was it 23 or 27 turns?
Each, you mean?
Yeah, he counted.
It was my 22nd or 23rd turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
40-something turns.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Game 1 went so long and so far that I condemned his Victory Strike 3 times. Remember, condemn puts it to the bottom of the deck, and Invoker can't shuffle the deck. That means the bottom of the deck came to the top 2 times.
That's at least 40-something turns, period. Like, totally, yeah. That's insane.
Almost a 3rd one by then. So that was awful. And then they offered to split top 4, and I was so burnt out after that match. I was very happy to do it. Yeah. And so I go into the King Vegeta match. I don't really know how this match is going to go, so I'm trying a whole bunch of different things. Game 1, he was first seed, so he went first. And his version of the deck, it's just 1 turn too fast if it goes first. And if I don't have a topo, I die. Guess what? Didn't have a topo. Game 2, I was able to stabilize, and I ended up, because of the Jiren Unison, I can't summon Rival Seeker. It just dies. And Victory Strike didn't like me anymore, or something like that. I don't know what his problem was. So I ended up winning by turning my cards that weren't named Apex of Power sideways. It was a new trick I was trying in Invoker. I think they call it attacking. I ended up doing like 4. He went from 5 life to 1 life for my attacks, and then he couldn't kill me, so he passed. I go to 5 energy. I swing with my leader. He blocks. I combo the 1 topo on my board, and I did something I haven't done before either. I tapped 5 energy for a cat blow as long as I have a blank board, and did the last damage. And then game 3, he went first, so it was very similar. I had the topo for turn 2, and he had the crown for the topo for turn 2.
That'll happen.
And there goes the tier, and that was that. It was fun. It was a fun event. Definitely impressed by Cold. Definitely don't think anything else out of the new set was all that impressive. King Vegeta sort of did what you would expect it to do with a lot of promos. I'm curious to see how good or bad it will be moving forward. We'll have to see. Only time can tell. As people get more used to these cards and switching gears and Raditz and apparently Bardock become more readily available to the public, without having to throw your wallet at TCG player.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, it was a cool event. It was a good experience, I suppose. Yeah. What about you, Eddie?
Cool. For the event, I was happy to see that Andrew played the King Vegeta the way I kept preaching King Vegeta should be played. Because I know a lot of people are preaching it was an aggro deck, it was a red-green deck, and I'm like, it's not. If you read the leader itself, the leader is not meant to just, hey, I'm going to kill you on turn 2 and turn 3. It's going to sit there. It's going to gain all the advantage. Like I told you guys, you're going to filter to your deck. You want to, I kind of compare it to like Invoker, where you're not going to awaken until you want to awaken, right? Like Andrew, I was watching his games played. I'm like, wow, this is exactly what I was talking about. He'll find all 4 of his super combos. And then if somehow
Andrew was winning on turn 2 and 3 awful lot of games, buddy.
Because
Yeah,
people were killing themselves. No, people were killing themselves. The people who are playing smart and not killing, yes, they were. People were literally killing themselves. I was watching him play the entire time, and I put both his games on stream as well for Top Cut. But the way he was doing, he was searching through all his super combos, and okay, cool. And somehow you were just chilling, whatever it was. He was finding all his crown retribution and then kill you like that way. That's what I was trying to tell you guys. That's how the King Vegeta should be being played. It's literally, you find all your pieces and then you play them and then you win like that. It wasn't meant to be that Piccolo Jr.
He killed me on turn 2 because of crown.
It's literally an aggro deck,
that's what I'm
bro.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he finds the crown and all that good stuff. Like you're finding all your pieces to play it in order to kill someone. But you're Invoker. You're Invoker.
He's not an aggro deck. You can't take advantage of that.
You can't compare to Invoker because, like, literally, he has to kill you. Because if he doesn't kill you, he's dead. Like, if he gives you turns to stay alive, he's just dead. What can he do to? I mean, what can he do to stop?
Did you watch the stream?
I watched the game.
Where he put Mecha?
Yeah, I watched the game.
He put Mecha to 2 life on turn 2.
Yeah, I watched it. I was sitting right next to you watching the game.
Kill Mecha? Yeah. That wasn't a control deck, man. That was not a control deck.
No, the way he was playing against Jonathan, the biggest difference between what Jonathan didn't do, and he admitted that afterwards, he didn't have the slug. And I told you guys, for Mecha Frieza, that's why I said, if you play blue yellow, you're going to get in trouble because you have to cut some slots. Him not having the slug ended up costing him the game. And we all talked about that afterwards. He's like, yeah, it was the slug, would have been a whole different ball game. Because from the slug, you literally either had to have the KO count on 2, so you traded 2 for 2, or you had to have the Jiren in hand. Like, you recognize that. That's the only reason why Andrew was just able to just run him over like that. But if you had the slug, it was a whole different ball game. And besides that, Jonathan was doing some things too. He even admitted afterwards, like, hey, I was just new at the deck. Like, what did he do? He final flashed in order to take a damage that he shouldn't have took. And Andrew said, okay, cool, you're just dead now. And like Jonathan was like, oh, snap, you're right. And like he was using some extra cards he shouldn't have been using because he was just playing around with the deck. But
well, Jonathan won game 2. What happened was in the finals, Duval put a Young Invader on the bottom of his deck instead of a Frieza's Death Ball. And then Jonathan attacked and comboed a bunch of stuff. And he let Andrew take back what he had put back with the super combo so he could out-combo the attack in order to not die. So, again, they split top 4. They literally didn't care.
Yeah.
Those dudes are on the same team. They're homies. They play test together. Yeah. So, like, it was a very lax finals. It was very different than what we've seen in other finals. So, Jonathan won game 2, and then they would have gone to game 3. Now, who knows what can happen in game 3, but no, I don't think people were killing themselves. Like, when I saw him do 8 damage on turn 2 to the Makekabura player, like, people weren't killing themselves. Or, well, he did Invader pass Invader. So he did 2 with Invader, then he did 6 damage through attacking.
Yeah,
like, people aren't just killing themselves. It's an aggro deck. Like, he's playing Fighting Against Fate. He's playing the King Piccolo New Ruler, which is a huge neg if it didn't win the game the turn it swung. Like, it was absolutely an aggro deck, bro. The fact that he played Jiren, like, Jiren was super cool. I didn't think about that. It was a super cool card. But it's also a double striker. Like, he was playing an aggro deck, man. Like, it was definitely an aggro deck. Like,
I don't say turn 3 decks are aggro decks, though. Like, literally, the turn. What did he kill?
He's winning on turn. No, it's Makekabura and Sublett. He killed Invoker on turn 2. He killed Makekabura on turn 2.
Sublett as early as possible, but like everyone else, it was literally you played Jiren, and from Jiren, the Piccolo would come down, and a bunch of stuff would come down.
But Eddie, do you know how much a non-aggro deck cannot kill me on turn 2? I was invoking.
He was single. He turned everything sideways.
On two.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. For you, I saw your game. Like, the switching gears, he was turning sideways. The other times, the switching gears weren't turning sideways. The only thing that was turning sideways was the bars were critical. Everything with critical was essentially turned sideways. And then turn 3 is his kill turn. Because turn 3, he turned everything sideways. Because by then, you were at 4 or less, and he didn't care. The Jiren was turned sideways at double strike. The Piccolo came down, was turned sideways at another double strike. Everything was coming out on turn 3. But then, like I said...
He didn't
so
play
turn 3 is definitely an aggro deck. Turn 3 is definitely an aggro deck.
Yeah. Remember, he didn't play Jiren against me in that third game. We talked about. He killed me with Fighting Against Fate.
Yeah.
Remember, I asked him why awaken the turn before instead of just awakening this turn to play both Jiren and the Crown of Retribution. That was game 3. He didn't.
No, I said for your match, it was specifically different for your match. So I was sitting next to you while I was recording the top.
And like 2 or 3 new ruler, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For your match, he had to aggro you down because he couldn't.
No, it's not just. It was not just. He did it to me. He killed me on turn 3. I'm green. Like I have dormant. I did not. Okay, I did not dormant the turn he killed me. I didn't have it, but I have homicidal clones, Frieza, charismatic villains, and Death Ball. Right. He killed me on turn 3. Now, yeah, so looking at his deck list is on the Universe Z YouTube channel. If you want to look at his deck list, you can check it out there, right? He plays Topo, he plays a Violent Rays, he does play a 3-cost Unison. These are all cards that will extend the game. King Vegeta's Imposing Presence, these will extend the game in a control matchup, but he was without a doubt trying to kill people on turn 3. And I was interested in the deck. I was watching him that day. And he killed a lot of people on turn 2. I'm telling you, he went first against Makekabura. He goes invader charge to do a bunch of whatever. And then on his second turn, Makekabura has 1 energy. He deals 6 damage to him through attacking. If your deck is not built to have an aggro swing, it will not deal 6 damage through attacks on turn 2. The deck is meant to have an aggro swing with a backup plan. Now, I can't put words into his mouth, but like watching him play, that was kind of very clear. And if you don't think a turn 3 deck is an aggro deck, that's a deck that wins on turn 3 is an aggro deck, man. Like, I mean, really.
What would you call it if not aggro?
I mean, I could see it.
Like the way I say it's not aggro is because to me, aggro you just turn everything like Vegeta, right? I'll give you cards to turn everything sideways just to kill you as fast as you can. This is why I'm describing Andrew deck is not an aggro deck. Like, use the Young Invaders, obviously, you're gonna be at 4. His early swings, everything was critical minus his leader. That's what he does. Like that's why I'm talking about. It was a realistic can show that because if he did have his switching gears and he didn't want you to take damage that turn, he did not turn it sideways. Now turn 3, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Every turn 3, everything was being turned sideways, critical or non-critical. Obviously, the critical guys were getting turned sideways first. They could burn cards from your hand. Then the non-critical guys would come in because after you burnt your hand, you're going to take that damage. And yes, 9 out of 10 times, turn 3, everyone was dead by then. You see what I'm saying?
You think Vegex is an aggro deck, right?
I know Vegex is an aggro deck. It's the deck.
No. I know. But I'm trying to prove a point. You don't turn Kai sideways in Vegex. Don't turn Trunks sideways in Vegex. Sometimes you don't even turn the 1-drop sideways in Vegex in the early turns. So switching gears is like that deck's Kai or that deck's Trunks. It's a support. Not a weightlifter. You don't turn it sideways because you don't want to put anything behind it to make it do a damage. Just because you're attacking with only criticals doesn't mean it's not aggressive. If my deck on turn 1 pumps out 2 criticals and I attack with them, that doesn't make me a control deck. It doesn't make me an aggro deck. But if on my turn 2 I pump out 2 more criticals and swing with 4 of them, then I'm an aggro deck. My deck is designed to be aggressive, to go in and to end the game soon, as early as possible. We know his deck was aggro because he played 1 card that cost more than 3 energy in his whole deck.
Yeah, it's to pump the other guys up. Yeah, that was fun.
I think he evolved for 3 energy.
Yeah, it falls over and he gives all the other guys a boost too as well. That's freaking hilarious, yeah.
Yeah.
Are
That
you talking
card
about
is
the Bardock? You talking
Yeah,
about
the
the
Bardock
Bardock?
evolve. Yeah,
the
the
SR
Bardock
Bardock.
evolve.
That evolved for 1
Yeah,
energy.
for 1 energy, it gives 2 more Bardock red Saiyans extra
Here's
I
what
attack.
it
rest.
does.
Yeah,
I rest my case. I
yeah,
rest
Yeah.
my
yeah.
case.
That thing was funny, dude.
The
Bardock
most
Bardock
expensive card in his
Bardock
deck is
evolves.
Jiren, and it
Yep,
says Grr.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Now,
thing was funny.
yeah, Bardock evolves for 1 energy, and then it replays a 15 one of the one
From the
drop
drop.
Bardock's
From the
crew
drop.
from the drop. So it's a 15k. But
Yeah.
he was not just attacking. He was attacking with Borgos, right?
Mm.
Borgos is 1 mana bond 3 gain 11. It's a
Yep.
15k vanilla essentially, right?
Yeah.
He was attacking with Borgos. Now, again, I can't put words in his mouth. You look at his deck list. He's playing Topo. He's playing
Mm.
Violent Rays. He's playing King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. Yet, hold on. Let me finish. He was killing people on turns 2 and 3. That is an aggro deck. Just because your aggro deck plays some extenders does not mean you're not playing an aggro deck. Now, I think it was an aggro deck. He was attacking a lot for it not to be an aggro deck. Is all I can say.
Now look, let's think about it this way. Also, what I was saying was Storm played Nimbus. So just because a deck plays negates doesn't mean it's not aggro. In fact, every deck should play negates. Isn't that right, Eddie?
I learned that one.
But anyway, so the turn he plays the most expensive card in his deck, Jiren.
Yeah.
He also plays Fighting Against Fate and New Ruler.
Yeah,
It's
that's turn three.
definitely an
Yeah.
aggro deck.
No, that's what I'm
Not
saying.
three
But
drop
those come down
plays
turn three.
five
You
more
won't see those
damage.
before turn three. That was the issue with it. Like a turn, I don't know. I guess the aggro decks that I play, I don't plan on going to turn three. I plan on, okay, cool. By the time turn one's over, you have literally 1 turn to try to survive. Like you have to take me with a floodgate or something in order to survive because next turn you're dead. For him, once it was turn 3, that was pretty much, I mean, that was it for you. The Jiren hit, and like I told you, from the Jiren would stem a bunch of BS that's just like, what just happened from there? So
Yeah,
That
it has survivability certainly. It's not aggro like Broly.
Mm.
Broly would be a hyper aggro deck.
Mm.
That's one that aims to kill you literally the second turn every time, and when it doesn't, it breaks. And that's why it's so fragile. Glass Cannon. This is not a Glass Cannon deck, but it is an aggro deck. It plays low to the ground cards that turn sideways. Even the non-critical ones turn sideways. Jiren is a wonderful control card, but control cards are very good when they also can aggress or stop your opponent from doing something, because there's nothing better than playing Violent Rays and being able to kill them on the crackback. Violent Rays buys you a turn, and in an aggro deck, it is used best because the crackback is a crackback.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's big facts.
This is an aggro deck. This is not a mid-range deck. King Piccolo is more of a mid-range deck. This is an aggro deck. When I cleared his board, he struggled to reestablish. That's an aggro deck.
Yeah, I the only reason Game 3 lasted so long was because I drew Secret Identity. So I cleared his board, and then he played like 1 attack or a turn. Once I cleared his, he didn't play a battle card for like 2 turns after I cleared his board the first time. It's an aggro deck, is it?
Yeah.
Which is why I think it would have a Dark Broly. It would have a rough-ish time against Dark Broly because Dark Broly can defend without losing a lot of resources. It has immediate removal for any problem cards. Anything that it will attack immediately dies. And Jiren is not super effective against Dark Broly because you're not actually killing anything. You're just preventing it from attacking. Like, you neg a 30k down to a 10k, it's probably not going to attack, but it's not like it dies. So I think Dark Broly would have a pretty good King Vegeta matchup. Violent Rays isn't going to protect the deck because it runs out of board, it runs out of pressure. Like that's it.
That's big facts. Real quick, let's catch up on it. Womboy says it's like Mecha King Vegeta can pivot from control to aggro 1 turn to another.
But that's literally not true. Like again, like we just said, both of us cleared his board, and then he struggled to do anything for 2 turns. That's not pivoting to control. That's floundering, right? Like that's literally not true. Mecha also does not pivot from aggro. It controls the game while building a board state and then attacks. It's 2 different game states.
Coopzilla was like, I think he was talking about your 40+ turn mirror match for Invoker. Yeah, that was an insane turn. It's hilarious. After testing, I believe after testing something, and Mecha Frieza needs to be hit. Man, hitting them with double Bergamo and just slap you with it. Errata Unite to you.
No, they're
Yeah,
gonna ban the Mecha Frieza leader. If the
yeah.
first one got banned, the second one's gonna get
Yeah.
I
banned.
said
Like
that too. I think it's yeah.
eventually, probably not.
First one didn't get
Probably
banned.
not for another 2 or 3 formats, but what'd you say, bud?
First one
Oh,
didn't
you're
get
right.
banned.
It's errated. Excuse me.
It's right.
Excuse me. They errated it, right? So you're right. My fault. The first one they should have banned. Whatever. Like, didn't they? It was banned for a time, wasn't it?
Nah,
It got
No,
errated
no,
later.
never.
not. It
No,
never
it was
has
never
been.
banned.
No, it just
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Only SS3
I got you.
yeah.
SS3 was our first ban card.
SS3 was. Okay. That's SS3 was the first ban card. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Well, it deserved it, but whatever. Yeah, like they had to hit the first one. They're gonna hit the second one eventually. Probably not until like maybe 2, 3, 4 sets from now. Who knows? But like, no,
I don't even
Mecha
think
Freeze is
that long
busted as
because
hell,
if you
man.
think
Like
of it, if you think about a yellow deck, it's like we're talking about in the chat. Like we make fun of Trey for it. It's like he speaks about yellow decks. We're like, bro, just play Mecha, dude. Like whatever you trying to do a yellow,
I don't
just
know, but literally every card of support that they are printing is designed to work with Mecha Frieza. Like
yeah.
every yellow support card
Yeah.
is designed to work with Mecha. Like
It's
they
broken.
knew that Power of the Super Saiyans was going to be played in Mecha. You play it and then you rest 2 things. They obviously Robotic Riposte was supposed to work with Mecha. Like the problem is they don't know how broken Mecha is because Robotic Riposte has a second effect that nobody ever uses, which is tap 2 to evolve a 4-drop on top. Nobody's ever going to use that shit. They made a spell that plays a 4-cost.
Not yet.
What?
Yeah, not yet.
I said
They're not
it
gonna use
does
it
that?
yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Right. So
That
the
thing
thing
does
is that
more?
they don't actually know how broken Mecha is because they're printing this they're printing like the wrong support for it, if that makes sense. Like they printed Death Blaster and Your Worst Nightmare, which is 2 cards that the deck doesn't even play because why would it? Like it just plays better cards.
Yep, makes sense. Real quick. So the card that overperformed the most, in my opinion, I thought I solved the trick with Deborah, but man, I'm not gonna lie. I think Deborah should be in everyone's deck. No trolls. I did not realize Deborah because like it's funny. I was going against King Piccolo, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I know he main boards Topo, so I'm just gonna wreck this guy and him off Topo. I summon my black power black. I summon my dark power black man saying he summons his guys and then just discards 2 topos. Discards 2 the board. I'm like, oh shoot, it goes both ways, dude. So that card is really, really powerful, dude. Any floodgate that forces your opponent to like discard, yeah, it's the board's gonna put in work. So that's why that black routine that Mecha Bear has, they're really fortunate. It says warp 2 cards. Because I'm telling you, what is it? Topo. What else makes you discard cards? Like pretty much anything makes you discard cards. The Dark Power Black Man
Topo, King
Saiyan.
Cold.
Yeah, the King Cold, the Dark Power Black Man Saiyan.
Yeah.
Any of those floodgates which are really relevant, you put in this freaking the board, dude. Oh my god. Like especially if you say discard 1, the pluses are infinite. Like the value you get from that, just discard 1 is just infinite. You'll play itself for 1, oh my goodness, bro. Like it was bad. That's all I'm gonna say for that. So that card for me, yeah, that card for me was a super overperform. Like I knew it was good, but it wasn't until he did it to me when I'm like, oh, this is really good. Like it was really, really, really good. So yeah, make
Hey, you want to
sure.
know what I did with that card?
What's up?
The Deborah Ritual at Hand. When I played against Legends in that mirror match, I tapped 3 for it.
Yeah, just draw 2. Bro, I'm telling you, that card is that card's insane, man. Like my god, like it's not just for
That's just another reason. That's another reason you can't. It's another reason you can't play Green Broly anymore because like every deck will side 2 copies of Deborah for stuff like Topo and for King Cold, and then your deck immediately just becomes horrible because like Deborah is too good against your deck. It's actually super good. Now again, like I've said before, I've played through 3 Deborahs before, but it's not good. And like if you're playing a grindy game, like if I like the King Cold match was the grindiest game I had all day. If he had just 1 Deborah in hand at any point, I actually probably just would have lost the game because of 1 Deborah. So like it depends on the matchup, right? But like you can't play OG Broly anymore. So I'm glad that I played it at this event when only 1 person in the room was siding Deborah because he's an asshole. But you know.
Yeah, so if your deck struggles to Dark Power Black
I'm
Man
just
Saiyan,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, if your deck struggles to Dark Power Black Man Saiyan, to Topo, or to the King Cole one that makes you discard, guys, just toss them in your sideboard, man. Like you won't
No,
regret
you
it.
can't. It's not. It's very specifically King Piccolo that deals well with Dark Power Master. I don't know every interaction, right? But the play that the King Piccolo makes is you combo with Drum from your life. You summon Drum, which triggers BMS, discarding 2 Deborah.
Yep.
You resolve Drum first,
Yep.
which
Negative.
then kills BMS,
Exactly.
and then you summon the Deborah. If you summon Deborah under BMS, you have to discard 2.
Yeah.
So you have to play your Drum first,
negative.
resolve Drum, kill BMS. Only there is probably some deck, some card I'm forgetting off the top of my head. King Piccolo is the deck that's going to do that.
Yeah.
If your deck struggles to BMS and is not King Piccolo, don't side Deborah, but side it for like Topo and King Cold and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I mean?
100% correct. 100% correct.
Yeah, but if you're King Piccolo, BMS is not that big of an issue anymore. It's actually just a freaking plus 3.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Plus,
it's super
insane.
cool. +2, yeah, it's super cool.
It's super plus. But let me see.
You guys are arguing. Look, you guys got in the chat. Y'all saying like decks that don't pay energy for stuff are broken. That's how we play Dragon Ball now.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball will never ever go back to sets like 2, set 7 when you're tapping 4. Even Arrival is not really broken anymore. Like there's like no playable 2-mana Arrival. Like we're no longer no deck that can they can't roll it back. We're too far. We've without like this super huge giant reset that nobody wants. Like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Rule change. Like, nobody wants that. From now on, like, Dragon Ball is, like, no longer the same game. We're not paying energy for the rest of the time that Dragon Ball exists. We're not paying energy for shit. Outside of, like, very few select decks like Baby and Invoker. Like, we're not paying energy for shit anymore. Like, that's just how it is.
It says is how balanced while red has King Piccolo and King Vegeta and black has Dark Broly and Vegex. Yeah, that's a pretty cool duo right there for tag teams. I'd say blue has Blue Baby, and I know it's not a true blue deck, but you have to throw Invoker in there as like the top 2 blue decks. Yellow.
Like decks pay energy for stuff, but like you look at every tier, whatever you want to consider tier 1, you look at it.
The top
they
decks,
don't pay energy for decks like Mecha Frieza, Dark Broly, King Piccolo, King Vegeta. They might pay 1 energy for Bojack, 2 energy for Warcry. King Piccolo plays 2 energy for the Unison. King Vegeta pays 1 energy for its 19Ks, and so it's Unison that pays some amount. You're tapping energy for cards, but no, you're not. If every card in your deck costs energy, it's completely unplayable.
Yeah, it's too fair.
It's too fair.
Yeah.
The majority of cards that's the problem I have with Makekabura, right? Is because the majority of cards you play in that deck, you have to tap energy for. And that was my problem with King Cold. Until I actually saw King Cold being played this week, and I was like, oh, it's actually a lot better than I thought it was. But that's something like that.
Makes sense. Let me see. He says Dodger Sex better. Alright, I think they're just going back and forth on best decks, which they said we will discuss on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we said it doesn't matter. I need to check. Alright, so we caught up on all the questions. How much you can turn? Trey, are you back with us? Or are you still lost in a shadow realm somewhere, my friend?
I've been here the whole time.
Oh, there you are. Hey, you're working now, bro. You want to chime in on anything that you want to say?
I will say, I did play in 2 locals this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I did play against a few of the newer decks and the decks I hadn't played against before.
Mm-hmm.
Like some bigger decks to set the routine. We'll talk a lot more about it next. Was it Wednesday? There's something with like a tier list and things that.
This is trippy. I can't hear.
Yeah,
Trey.
it's like lagging. So
Can you?
I can hear him.
It started off good, then it started like slowly fading and lagging.
Really? I heard everything you said, Trey. I'm listening.
Basically, I played against the same deck twice in 2 different tournaments, and they were played pretty similarly. It was the set 13 Blue Gohan, and I played against it with 2 different decks. I played Cooler in one tournament, and I played the Yellow Gohan in the second tournament because I wanted to play with my set 13 cards or whatever. Overall, that deck seems a lot better than I thought it was. It has a very straightforward play, turn 1 going second Awaken, and it's pretty solid. Like if they're going to go first against you, you got 1 energy, they're swinging at you with multiple 20k swings, and eventually they'll drop the big 10 drop on turn 4, and they get an extra energy and then board wipe you. It was pretty solid if you're not playing something. Like if you're playing something board eccentric that doesn't have barrier, it's just going to clear your board, put everything on the bottom of the deck. But my cooler deck didn't really have too much of a problem with it. I didn't misplay against him, and we ended up drawing. But yeah, other than that, like I think the deck's pretty solid, and I wouldn't sleep on it if you don't know. Like make sure you read the cards, like because if you just end up dying to a triple strike or just vanilla swings like Albini with the chilled pirate they play, they'll swing at you a lot of times if you don't have like a floodgate negate like this. Like this card destroys them.
What card are you talking about? Because your video's not popping up.
The Mecha Frieza counter.
The robotic repose?
Yeah, that card's disgusting. I finally got to play with it, and I was just like, wow, that card is just stupid. Yeah. I also got to drop Go Hanks like 5 times, the Unison, and it is probably one of the best feelings ever. Mm-hmm. You play it for 4 or 5 or whatever, it doesn't matter, because they're not going to kill you the next turn, because I'm playing red blue, so I can just awaken or whatever, because usually they try to stall me out and they don't win on my backside. So I play it, and I board wipe them, mill them, and then I can have my Wolfbane Fist and my Yamcha live, and there's nothing. And every time they attack with a battle card, I just minus 25 the first time. It's pretty solid. And it's a win time building itself, dual attack, 25k. If you don't have one already and you like red, you should have one. Not more people aren't playing the card.
Yeah. Makes sense. Oh yeah, that would hurt that card too, huh? Yeah, that's nice. That hurts every unison. That sucks. That's a universal thing. That's not leader lock too, man. That is rough for unisons going forward. Man, oh man, that would be rough depending on your secret, which is a unison, and they just have it waiting in the sideboard, bro. Not just for that Go Hanks, but particularly for King Cole, and just so happens to be you fall victim to it. That would really suck.
What are you talking about, the Zamasu?
No, not the Zamasu, the Go Hanks, because it sounded like Trey really was beating his opponent's face in with the Go Hanks unison. So, like, if King Cole was ever a thing and that extra card became a sideboard staple, it would just suck, man. Like, it's not in for you, but since you want to go that route, I'm just going to have it and just you neg your unison
also,
or you just don't take strike damage.
It's like the real only out to it.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's universal. No, it's not just the Kai SCR. Because you're not going to take damage from the that extra card, dude. That's a big long comment right here. The big struggle with all these broken decks, etc., coming out, reducing cost and skill on the power. I wouldn't say it's getting less skill intensive. It's I would say I would beg to differ. It's the opposite because now you have to learn how to efficiently manage your energy because all this stuff does come out for free, and now like I think less skill intensive is not
like
the right
whether you tap energy for a card or not. Yeah. Whether you tap energy for a card or not does not define whether it's skillful or not.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's fine. Like there, even if you play like I think the most high roll aggro deck is I could be Majin Vegeta. I'm just going to use aggro as an example, right? You can just draw a very easy Cell Zeno on turn 2. It doesn't mean like you're going to win the game. Now, that might be the luckiest. That's not very skillful. Anybody can tap 2 energy, sure. But, like, realistically, you're not going to do that every time. And the games where you don't draw your secret rare, which is like a less than 4% chance of drawing and by turn 2, like, you're never going to win if you don't learn how to play the game past that point. So people who do win with Sin, like, actually learn how to play the game. It's not just because cards are free, you know, like if you want to use like King Piccolo, Mecha Frieza, just go to any locals. You'll see people playing tier 1 decks and they don't even win at locals because like there's just like skill just exists like in card games. Like in any game, like skill just exists. It doesn't matter how simple the game is. Like you can use beer pong for example. It's a simple game. You throw a little ping pong ball. But some people can make 30 shots in a row, and some people can't make a single shot in a row. So it doesn't matter how simple it is. There's always some skill involved.
That's big.
Chesko's right. Some people can lose at ping pong even though they brag about how good they are,
Oh my god.
and never beat the other person once.
I was drunk. I was literally blackout drunk, and Sublett
No.
brought. I was
You were
blackout drunk.
Why did you black out?
Sublett took me into his basement, handed me a ping pong paddle, and made me play a game ping pong when I was absolutely out of my mind, smashed. And then he decided to brag about it for 6 years because he beat me one time in ping pong when I
said
Two,
was
sir.
absolutely. Oh, two. Well, I don't even remember the second time because I was blackout drunk. So that's even worse.
Have you ever heard yourself when you're drunk? I'm the best at ping pong. You can't beat me.
I don't think they have.
I probably did say that. Yeah, I probably did say that.
You'll probably do it.
So I guess there's a best of one of what is it? Core TCG event this weekend?
I think all
either TCG or Core TCG Saturday. There's a best of one regional Saturday.
All right, you guys want to talk about that? And that could be like I guess our last topic for tonight.
I don't know. Me and Sublett are going to a case tournament in VA at Comic Kings on Sunday. So we're not doing a best of one regional. We're doing a best of three case tournament, and
You might do both.
Yeah, he might do both. I got shit to do on Saturday. I might play Vegex. I have secured my Gogetas. Now whether I have them on Friday when I start driving to Virginia determines whether I'll play Vegex or Mecha. I don't want to play Mecha, but I want to play Mecha, if that makes sense. Like I want to play Vegex, but if I don't get Gogeta, I'm just gonna play Mecha.
Makes sense.
I might be going as well.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play this one.
No, you're not. No, don't. No, you're not.
No, I am. I do need to fix the artwork a little bit though, so that it's more accurate.
No.
Now we're better, right? Now Stumpy is where he should be.
Now
He's the
it's
best
accurate.
leader in the game. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna play Invoker.
No, don't play Invoker. I'm telling you, Sublett is low-key burnt out on Invoker, and he doesn't want to admit it. I'm telling you, just one time, play a different deck. Play Mecha. It's still it's still like it's a good deck.
I think both Sublett and Legends would enjoy King Cole. It seems like very similar to Invoker. You wouldn't say so?
When you say King Cold, do you mean this King Cold I have sitting here?
Exactly my point. I can see them making that easy switch, man. That'd be like something super simple. But I mean, I hope you do
Saturday
get the
morning.
man.
Saturday money. How else does anyone get them? Saturday morning, Sublett, he was like, "Oh, I don't even want to play today. I don't care. Oh, I hope I lose." He's like, "I hope I lose round one so I can just drop." I was like, "Bro, just play. Don't play Invoker next tournament. Just play one tournament. Give yourself a break." He's super burnt out on Invoker. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah, I can see
it's because it's too free. It's too many free wins, and he's too comfortable with just winning. So like you gotta go out of your comfort zone a little bit.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, man. Yeah, if it's not broke,
don't fix it.
Play that thing till it dies, dude. Yeah. Let's see. Like,
Did you hear me?
You saying I shouldn't play Stumpy?
Like play a real deck, but don't play Invoker.
Oh man, that's messed up.
Anyway, so you play Green Broly, and I'll play a deck that main decks 4 of it.
Go for it, bud.
So,
what'd you say, Trey?
I might be going to the case tournament myself, depending on how.
Hell yeah. Well, hopefully we see you there.
Oh snap!
It's like 3 hours and 45 minutes from me.
It's about 20 hours for me. So so Sublett drove down to Miami last weekend, and I'm driving up to Virginia this weekend. So
actually just got back at 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
So
I'm
fresh
insane.
off of an 11-hour drive.
Nah, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let's talk about what we expect to see for, I guess, these upcoming events, man.
The same shit we've been seeing.
I'm surprised you haven't seen what card are you showing because you're not coming up on a thingy.
The Trunks Unison.
The Trunks Unison. Oh, you're talking about the 3-drop?
What card are you talking about?
Is it
Trey
just me
is
that
holding
can't
up
see
the
him?
Trunks.
Is it just me that can't see him?
I
Or
can
can
see
you
him.
guys? Okay, yeah,
I can
can't
see him.
That is
Trey is currently holding up with the 3-drop Trunks yellow unison,
the dual
which
attack.
the dual tag. I'm going to mainboard that in Mecha and sideboard the Vegeta, the 2-cost Vegeta, because I like that Trunks a lot. I think it's pretty cool.
It's powerful. I'm guessing you're playing blue yellow, so you could just untap after you tap
Correct.
out.
Yeah. I wouldn't play a 3-cost unison if I also didn't play Bojack.
Yeah, I
That
was
is
about to
correct.
say that's crazy talk, bro. If you're playing mono yellow and just gonna tap for three,
No.
yeah, I was about to say,
Except
dude.
except like against yellow, you can't tap out because they'll just final flash your Bojack. So.
Yeah,
So you just you be smart with it, but even then against like the mirror match, that unison's not really coming down until later in the game anyway. So but against every other deck, like turn 3, jam that unison, untap with Bojack. That unison's so good, man.
yeah, this is. But yeah, the only other deck that we didn't see this weekend that I expect to see in both events would be Vegeks. Regardless if they had the Gogeta TPs or not, you can still substitute the Gogeta TP for the Migra as well as the SS4 fighting against Fate, because the Migra still allow you to have word removal as well as hand control, and the fighting against Fate will still allow you to put that free dual attack pressure on your opponents. So please still be aware of that. And another huge thing about Vegeks that other decks do not have efficient access to is Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, guys. 2 team talks ago I said it. Vegeta is the one deck in this format that can say Mecha Frieza, you're gonna pass your entire turn. If you're sitting there trying to sit on the champ pack negate because you took your nemesis out, that literally will just stun your turn because you're not gonna play anything. The only thing you'll have access to at that time and point would probably be the power to Super Saiyan to rest, I guess, my unison swing if you want to do that, so you don't get hit by double strike. But you're not going to. Well, speaking of, if you're playing Vegeta and you Quetzalcoatl, swing with your unison first. I know I said don't swing with your unison first. Swing with your unison. Give it double strike and swing with your unison first after you Quetzalcoatl, because they're not going to robotic robust you. Because if they do that, it's like, okay, cool. They're going to lose 2 cards, and then they're not going to lose 2 more cards to sit there and try to Bergamo you. Swing with your unison first, guys, after you Quetzalcoatl. Yeah. That's my biggest thing for Vegeks play. So I hope you guys, like I said, I hope you do get your Gogeta promo. So I want to see Vegeks back on top again, man. It's a really, really cool deck, and really, really, I enjoy watching Vegeks decks just go off, man. It's just funny to me to see other decks
We're
just
talking
struggle.
about Vegeks again. Someone's over here. We're
No,
talking about it again.
it's literally hilarious to me to watch other decks just try to stay up when Vegeks is just playing, man. Like it brings joy to my heart. I'm like, yes, we're back, boys. But yeah,
Can I just say real quick?
What's up?
1 hour, 7 minutes. I'm impressed, Eddie. You went really long before this devolved into Vegeks.
I haven't talked about Vegeks in forever, man. Like, man, oh man.
I know it's been like a whole team talk.
A really, 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 really good deck. Also, Dark Broly, guys, go ahead and play it. Really, really good deck. Play the Vindicator because the Dark Broly guy, his one loss was to Mecha Cabrera, and the reason why he lost to Mecha Cabrera because he only played 1 Vindicator. And I told him because he said, "How did you beat the Mecha Cabrera?" I said, "I told him." He's like, "How?" Because I play Vindicator. Like literally, you have to have. I think that 4-drop when it hits, you have to have 4 or more warp. So the Vindicator, you could just ship all of it back if you really want to, and just say pass with open energy. Or if you want to bait them out, you can just leave energy open, play the Supreme Kai negate the counter attack, and then bait them to tapping out into it, and just grab your Dark Broly's back because they'll go to your warp when the Supreme Kai warps them, and then at the end of his turn, they'll come back and play on your side of the field, and you'll be good to go. So play Vindicator, guys. It's a really, really great card, especially in a field where someone just eating up your drop area. Besides that, let me see what else we got. I don't know. I don't have anything else besides that, man. What do you guys got?
Looks like the comments. Pac-Man wants this Gohan leader. You can't take my leader, man. I need it. I need to win with it. Wog Boy said, "I want new Invoker toys." Me too. Me too, man.
Nah, that block is over, B. No more Invoker toys.
When do you guys reckon multicolor format will come back? Maybe after UW block. You know, multicolor format was great because it slowed the game down by about 1 single turn, which is kind of a big deal. That 1 extra turn of interaction is great, but more than just the multicolors and charging, tapping out on turn 1 to do nothing, it was also a rival format. And that was what really slowed the game down, because if I attack you, bad things happen to me. Because all of a sudden you a rival Broly and tap my energy down, or a rival Broly tap my leader down, or a rival double cooler and laugh as I just lose all of the cards on my board. And that's kind of something important to remember about the multicolor format, is that it was less free, but it was actually more free than most of the things we see anymore, because I could tap 2 energy for 2 cooler, or in some cases with that Beerus super combo less than that. And so multicolor, if it comes back, it should in theory slow the game down, which would be cool, but it would have to be accompanied by something that got rid of all of the free stuff right now. Because multicolor format didn't just leave because they stopped supporting it. It left because these decks are just faster than that. So if we're going to get multicolor cards to come back, we either need a crucifixion ban list, or we need something that pushes those decks better. Something that allows you to keep up with decks when you tap out on turn 1. And the ways that could be would be leader-specific energy exhaust negation, or we could have
like Android 16.
Yeah, stuff like that. We could have 1-drops like Dr. Mayu that just kind of play themselves if you have that multicolor. We would need more cards of that nature, which you were complaining earlier about all the free play stuff, but if you want multicolor format to come back, it's important to understand that means we need more free play stuff to support those multicolor decks to keep up with what's there now. Even if they put a check on it, it needs to be a crucifixion list. They would need to ban the Dark Broly leader, ban Vegex leader. They would need to ban Mecha Frieza leader. Seriously.
Oh, you want multicolors to come back, yeah.
They would need to limit drum. They would need to they would need to semi-limit catastrophic blow. They would need to, there's so many things they would need to hit, and you have to keep in mind when you remove those guys from the format, everybody just nipping at the heels of tier 2
jumps
here they are, and all of a sudden now we got a ban King Cold leader. Now we've lost everything and what we sat down to do. So they need, like Giancarlo was saying earlier, like you need, if you want to go back in time to those decks, we need to change how the game is now, kind of like what Vanguard did. Or we need more of the thing that you hate, more of the free play, so that we can keep everything even. Free play is bullcrud. It is. I agree with you, and I am the biggest fan of Surge format. It was like the Dragon Ruler spellbook format of Dragon Ball Super. It was so skill intensive. Games went to 7 energy naturally. It was a beautiful, wonderful time, but it's gone now. And we need those kinds of free plays to keep the balance. Because right now, even though everything's free, it's also really balanced.
Yeah.
Like look at the top cuts. You saw a bunch of Mecha Frieza, yeah, but you saw a bunch of Invoker and a bunch of Dark Broly, and I'm talking about more than just the PPG event now, of course. I'm talking about the 3 events that took place, the Canada one, the European Regional, and the PPG. We saw King Cold in one of them. We saw King Vegeta take one of them. We saw King Vegeta not take one of them, but do well in it. Like, the format is balanced. Even if it seems crazy, if everything is broken, then nothing is broken. And so if they do a multicolor thing, then we need more of these broken cards. I hope they support multicolor. I believe that they will. But just keep in mind, to do that, they have to make more of the stuff that you hate. So just concessions have to be made at some points. I hope that kind of makes sense.
I think
it's an illusion, though. Okay, we can just agree to disagree.
One boy, I want to hear what's your opinion on just these 3 or 4 real actual.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that guy's opinion. Let's just wrap this up. It's already midnight. Let's just go, bro. He's not saying anything relevant. Let's just wrap it up, or kick me off. I don't know what to tell you.
We'll start with closing comments, and I'll get one boy. If you comment, I'll literally look at it, bro. But go ahead. What's our closing comments? We could
Message Eddie on Facebook if you want to talk to him.
We'll start with Giancarlo. I guess Sublett, then Trey, and I'll wrap it up and catch up on any last minute comments that we have.
Yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, that's it, man.
Gohan best leader.
That's it. Yeah, one arm Gohan, best leader without a doubt. That's it. Sublet.
That was mine. One armed Gohan best leader. By the way, if anybody wants to buy the right arm of Gohan, $500. All right, I will sign it right now if you want. $501.
Stay tuned for Wednesday. We're going to talk about the tier list, and that'll be a pretty good discussion.
Oh yeah, Cameron David Williamson from the Card Guys will be on, and we will discuss his tier list. I think Daylon also posted a tier list. We might as well go ahead and talk about that one as well, because what else are we gonna do?
I don't think we should talk about any of people. I just say we should just come up with our own, because people are gonna have opinions. I think we should just come up with our top leaders versus trying to look what other people do and criticize what they did. Just
we're not really criticizing it. We're just discussing it, right? And we already told Cam that he could come on the show, so that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, he could come on the show. He could come on the show. And we'll just make our own. And Trey, what did you say, Trey?
Earlier?
Did you say something? Or did I just hear
anything?
I
haven't said anything else. Wow.
You want to add your closing comments before we take off for tonight?
I wanted to tag on to what Sub was saying about the multicolor support, but it's simple. That Zamasu card that everybody was raving about from the new champ pack. Mm-hmm. That is the kind of card they need to keep printing for these other multicolors for them to be able to function. For example, Red Blue would like one of those kinds of cards.
Trey,
that come into play, like a better check land, or things that come into play unrested for having something on board, just similar to the Sorel card from U9. Those kind of cards are the cards that they would have to make multicolor more playable.
Trey, that Zamasu is horrible until I buy my 4. After I get my 4, it's amazing. Until I buy my 4, it's a horrible card.
I have to get mine.
Straight snap.
No, that you're absolutely right. That card's amazing. I'm just mad that I have to buy it.
But yeah, those
we'll
kind
be
of
happy
cards
to say why it's amazing.
Multicolor needs. Those are the cards that multicolor needs. We need check lands that actually do something other than just draw a card or make your opponent discard a card.
Makes sense. All right, so I guess I give my closing comments. Guys, right now I can honestly tell you guys, you can play not whatever decks you want to play, but there's a lot of decks you can play and go out and actually win an event with. It's not just one or two decks. There's a plethora of decks you can go out there and actually genuinely dominate a best of 3 event with. Consistently, yes, you'll see specific decks, but it's still open to other decks. And it hasn't been like this in a while, right? Because before we had just those key decks we had, but now we have, I think every color has at least 2 besides yellow. Yellow is just, we're going to focus on Mecha. That's it. We're going to keep it straight in there. I'm going to keep it straight in there with you guys. You can say Sin, you can say all that good stuff, but literally, if you're not playing Mecha, you're just, I don't know what you're doing. But at least every color has 2 viable decks, up to 3 that you can go possibly win an event with. So have fun. Play one of those decks that you've been practicing with. Rehearse it. Understand your weak matchups. There's a lot of things that, like we were talking about before, like how Giancarlo was saying with the drum interaction with the Dark Power Black Brand saying, there's a lot of new cards that pretty much allow you to plus on cards that would inherently make you neg. So go ahead and experiment with those bad boys. Have fun, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday and talk about the top leaders that we have in our opinion. Thanks for tuning in for tonight, guys.
Eddie.